Hi, girls. Aloha. Aloha. Happy Monday, everyone. My name's Courtney Watkins, and we have our amazing guest and friend, Dr. Ashly Locklin, for our Monday meetup. And Ash, we're so excited to hear from you and some of your hot tips. And you have a lot of experience in the industry, digital sales, social sales. I'm sure that you're seeing us all resharing your reels, your before and afters. And the way that you are talking about the product lineup and the activation is so inspiring because it's not just the GLP-1 story that you've taken us on, it's also protandem, oxidative stress. Like suddenly you're making oxidative stress cool over here. And the collagen and the glow ups. And if you guys aren't following Dr. Ashly Locklin on Instagram yet, go find her. Yesterday, her Super Bowl tips and like you were really fired up about like what this is doing and how this is not a synthetic, how this isn't a diet, how this is like we're literally throwing that culture out the window and it's so exciting. But the way that you're sharing on social is so amazing and inspiring. And one of the things that I wanted to give just a hot take that I've been texting some of my friends today. This morning, I got one new customer and one new consultant from TikTok. And their videos that I did a couple months ago, some of them. And that's one of the things that I love about TikTok. If you guys aren't on there yet, I love that with TikTok, something can come up months later. I have a video from a year ago that I still get orders on collagen. With Instagram, I feel like they kind of come and go a little bit more, and there's some trends with like the trial reels and stuff like that. But one of the things that I think has been helpful with TikTok, and maybe if you guys even want to have someone comment, I have a TikTok that I'm holding the core and I'm talking about the GLP-1. And then someone commented, how do I order? So I just did a green screen through the TikTok app and was like, here's my website, here's how to order. And so I think that that's making it a lot easier. And it's kind of a good workaround if you don't have enough followers to have a link in your bio. That's one of the workarounds with TikTok. So if you guys are out there, some of you, I mean, you guys are making such amazing videos. I'm resharing them and I'm learning so much. Save them and then just go put them on TikTok and just do a little captivating caption, some hashtags, and just kind of see where it takes you. But I feel like, at least me, I'm sleeping on TikTok a little bit more. I told my nail girl that I get people ordering from around the world, and she's like, so do you make TikToks all the time? And I'm like, you would think I do. So that's one of the challenges for myself in just pushing myself outside of my comfort zone a little bit more. I don't know why TikTok feels like it's out of our comfort zone. Instagram feels so safe. But Ashley, today you were going to talk to us about mindset and just storytelling because that's one of the things we love is that I feel like I'm on this wellness journey with you, the way that you take us on the journey and storytell. So, Ashley, number one enroller globally last month after a month and a half, and just sharing your results. And I know you've said that you're having a lot of fun with it. And I feel like that's why people are connecting with you so much too. So, Ashley, take it away.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so I'm going to talk about mindset and storytelling. So, first, with mindset, I always say your mindset is more important than any strategy that you have. And I always I didn't create any slides for this, but I want you to picture this cycle. And at the top of the cycle are your thoughts. And this dictates everything that happens because your thoughts dictate your emotions. And so if you were like, okay, I'm going to be really good at this, I'm going to do this, it's going to be easy, I'm going to be successful. Well, that dictates your emotions and how you feel. And then you're like, okay, yes, let's do this. I'm excited. Like this is going to work. And that dictates at the bottom of the cycle your action, the action you take. Because if you're like, okay, yes, like this is going to work, it's going to be easy, I'm going to become so successful and it's going to be fun, then you're going to take more action. You're going to take bigger, bolder swings. You're going to show up with more confidence and more conviction. And then what does that result in? Results. Your action dictates your results. And so if you are showing up more with more conviction and confidence, you're going to have better results. And then what does that feed into? The top of the cycle, action. And you're like, or thoughts. And you're like, okay, yes, this is working, right? So your thoughts dictate your emotions dictate your actions, and your actions dictate your results. So it all starts with your thoughts. Now, conversely, if you're like, I don't know, I'm going to give this a try. It's really hard. I'm really shy. I don't know if I could do this. Who's going to buy from me? I don't have a big enough following. how is that going to impact your emotions? You're going to feel like a loser. You're going to be like, oh, I suck. I'm a beginner. Nobody likes me. I'm ugly, blah, blah, blah. Okay, right? So then you're going to take less action. You're going to be like, oh, I don't know. What's the point? Nobody's going to see this. Nobody's going to buy from me. I'm not that big. And so then you're going to take less action. You're going to post less. You're going to show up with less confidence and conviction. And then you're going to have shitty results. And then you're going to be like, this doesn't work, right? I knew it. So your results are going to suck because your thoughts sucked and your emotions sucked and your actions sucked and now your results suck. So do you see how your thoughts will literally impact the results that you have? And so more than anything, you have to be delusional. You have to wake up every day being like, today is going to be the best fucking day of my life. I'm sorry, I like to swear a lot. If you have kids around, I'm sorry, my kids hear me swear all the time. So every day I'm like, today is going to be the best day of my life. Today I'm going to make the most sales ever. Today I'm going to have a killer reel that's going to reach so many people. Every day I wake up with this just delusional mindset. And then I'm constantly connected with my vision. Every day I take a few minutes to visualize my future self. And if you are not doing this, it's why you are not having the results you want to have. Okay. So some days I'll picture myself in like 3 months. Some days it'll be like 6 months in the summer. Lately, I've been visualizing myself in the summer like every day. And I'm like, what do I look like? What clothes am I wearing? What's my hair look like? What's my makeup look like? What's my skincare look like? What car am I driving? How are my kids dressed? How am I acting as a mom? What are we doing? Are we going to the pool? Are we at the beach? Are we at a resort? So like every day I'm visualizing me in the summer, 40 pounds lighter, just in a better mental space. Business is booming. I'm a more present, happy mother. Like my kids are dressed super cute. Like, and that gets me motivated for the day. I'm like, okay, Ashley, time to go. Like, let's go. Let's post some killer reels. Let's do some stories. Let's show up with confidence, conviction, and excitement. And so I always say if the further you get away from your vision, the less motivated you become. And when you close your eyes and you actually visualize yourself in your future and you feel it, it's all about feeling, then you actually start to take the action to get there. And what you don't understand is the brain doesn't understand the difference between reality and imagination. So the more you are imagining what you want, the brain thinks that it's reality. And then you subconsciously will take those actions and show up as that person. I have had so many people in the past like 2 weeks say that they saw somebody else promoting this, but chose to buy through me because of how I showed up to talk about it. Not the science, not my reels, just how excited I am. And like Courtney was saying yesterday, all weekend, I was showing up talking about diet culture. I was like, okay, if every Monday you're trying to get back on track, if every Monday you're like, okay, I'm going to get back on the bandwagon. I'm going to get back to clean eating. I'm going to get back to my meal plan. I'm going to get back to counting macros. I'm going to get back to counting calories. I'm going to get back to logging my food. I'm going to get back to keto. How you're going to spend your whole fucking life doing that? Like, what? Like, who wants to live their life like that? And I just show up with so much passion that people are like, okay, whatever you're selling, I will buy. I literally had somebody say, Ashley, you could be selling dirt and I would buy it from you because I show up every day delusional. I start my day like today's going to be the best day. I'm going to reach so many people. I'm so excited about what I have to share. My thoughts impact my emotions. I'm visualizing where I want to be. So I'm taking action to get there and then I'm getting the results. And then it just keeps going. So every day, I need you to wake up and to tell yourself today's going to be the best day. I need you to spend some time visualizing your future self, whether it's a year from now, 6 months from now, a week from now, whatever you want, and truly feeling it. When I was trying to get this house, this was like 6 years ago now, we were moving from kind of like a few hours away, and I really wanted this house, but it was hard because if you're self-employed, it's very hard to get a mortgage as when you're self-employed. And so every day I was just visualizing two things. Number one, the moment when they called and said, okay, you got the mortgage. I was like, oh my gosh. And then second, the day we got the house and I was in the kitchen, like spinning around with my husband. And for literally a month, I would visualize that all day. All day, I would close my eyes, visualize it, feel it. And then when those things happened, it was like, oh, well, of course it happened. I've been thinking about it and visualizing it and feeling it and seeing it every day. And so I do that all the time with little goals that I'm trying to hit. I remember I was trying to hit like MC1 and I like texted Courtney and Lacey. I'm like, I'm hitting MC1 this week. Like, I'm doing it. And I kept visualizing opening my app and seeing it. And literally the next day after I texted them, I did it. I was like, oh, okay. It is so powerful to control your thoughts and to be intentional. I can't remember the quote, but it's something like we have um, I don't know the exact numbers, but let's just say 100,000 thoughts a day, and 98% of those are just repeats from yesterday. We're just in this constant negative cycle of like just going through the motions, thinking the same things. And the people who actually get ahead, the people who change their lives and are successful, they are very in control of their thoughts and they choose not to think bad things. I am very much, and I always say this, how many of you have seen Inside Out, the movie Inside Out? It's like a Pixar movie. Please tell me you've seen it. If not, I'm gonna be devastated. Lacey, you haven't seen Inside Out? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, this is your homework. I need every single person. Jolyn, Jolyn, thank you. Okay, I need every one of you to watch Inside Out like tonight. There's two of them. Okay. So then the second one came out this summer. I talked about this all summer. Um, what it is in your brain, there's like a team of people who control your emotions. There's joy, there's anger, there's anxiety, there's disgust, and they're like little characters and they control your thoughts. Well, joy is in control of the main character. And anytime a negative thing happens, joy hurries up and takes her memory. And the memories are like these balls. Joy takes the memory and shoves them in this chute and sends them far, far away to the back of the mind where they're never thought of again. And I was like, wow, that is such a perfect visual representation of what I do. Anytime a negative thought comes into my mind, I'm like, in the chute, never think about it again. And I'm always telling people, like, that's how I just operate my life. Like, you choose to be happy. Happiness doesn't just happen, you choose to be happy. When things aren't going your way, you can choose to just spiral and dwell in it, or you can snap out of it. The faster you snap out of it, the faster you're going to feel better and get where you want to go. Here's another great analogy for you is if you're driving. Okay, so imagine you're driving to Disney World in Florida. You're driving, and all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, I'm in Oklahoma. You could either pitch a fit and be like, I suck, I'm a loser, I can't follow directions, I have no sense of direction. We're just going to stay in Oklahoma. You know what? Might as well just stay in Oklahoma. This is where we're going to be. Or you could be like, oops, made a wrong turn, took the scenic route, kids, but it's going to be fun. We're going to see some new sights, but we're going to get right back on the road and we're going to Disney World. The faster you can course correct, the faster you can bump back into your lane and into your route, the faster you're going to get to where you want to be. But the longer you dwell in like, oh, this sucks, it's not working, something bad happened, I don't have enough money, blah, 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 the longer you stay in that energy because you are attracting things based on how you feel and what you think. And so the more you think poor things and are in a bad mood and are just down, the more you're going to attract those bad things. It's like, the saying, when it rains, it pours. Why do you think that is? Because you're just attracting more fucking rain and thunder and hail. So when you are in a good mood, you're going to attract those rainbows. So your thoughts are so important. And if you want to have any success in business, you have to be delusional. You have to take those negative thoughts, put them in the chute, send them far, far away. And anytime you get off track, you just got to get back on the highway and go where you're going as fast as possible and laugh about it. Don't stay in the negative. So that's my little mindset tip. But I want to talk about storytelling because there's lots of different ways to market. And I keep talking about this. So I was in network marketing, I was in Beachbody, got to the top of Beachbody by literally just sharing my story. Every day I would get up and I would just take my audience through my day. Like, here's my shake, here's what I'm doing with my daughter, here's me doing my workout at home, holding my daughter because she won't let me put her down. And here's me eating this. And all I did was that. And I became so successful. And then I pivoted away from Beachbody and I taught marketing to people in all different businesses. And there's so much more you have to think about when you're selling different things beyond what we're selling. So there's different personality types. There's the red type, and they like advantage. If you're going to speak to them, it's like, how can I get ahead? There's the green type. They like logistics. They want to know every single detail. They will read a spreadsheet top to bottom, back to forth multiple times. There's the blue personalities. They like storytelling. They like connection. There's the yellow personality. They like fun. They want FOMO. They don't want to feel, they don't want any information at all. If it's boring, they're out. And so I was constantly having to teach people like psychological sales and how to get into the head of your consumer and how to appeal to the different personality types and how to do all this blah 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 blah. But it's exhausting to overthink all of that. The easiest way to get people to buy is by storytelling. And that is all you have to do. That's all I do. So when I pivoted over to this and started selling this, I was like, well, I'm just going to take people through my journey. And I very much made it like a diary. Like here, I'm on day 1, I'm on day 3, here's day 11, here's day 29. And I'm still doing that. I'm just constantly telling people I'm on day 54. Here's how I feel. So you don't have to position yourself as an expert when you do storytelling. And stories sell, facts tell. There was a study done where these people took a bunch of random items that they bought for like $1. I'm talking like little pink elephant figurines, ceramic tile you would use in a backsplash, like all kinds of random stuff. And they bought it for like a total of, I don't know, $10. They listed each item on eBay with a story. They told a story about each thing of like where it came from. They made it all up. But it was like my grandmother's who came from the Holocaust and this came on a boat, all these crazy stories. And they made thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Not off the thing. It was the story. It was the story behind the thing. And if you know Kendra Hall, have her book, Story, I think it's Kendra. Um, if you have Audible, like she has great, it's called Stories That Stick. I highly recommend that. But I learned a lot about storytelling from her. I actually saw her in person, and she is the one who introduced me to this study. And I was like, okay, it makes complete sense because we co-create when we hear a story. If I start talking about my wedding day and the weather on my wedding day, you immediately begin to think about your wedding day and the weather on your wedding day. And you look for similarities because if I'm having a conversation with you, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, me too. Or like, no, mine rained the whole time. So we co-create, and that's how we create these interconnected fibers where we feel like we know someone, right? Know, like, and trust. That know, like, and trust factor. People will buy from you when they feel like they know you, they like you, and they trust you. And the more you can tell stories, the more you're going to get people to know, like, and trust you. They're going to feel like you're their best friend. So what I like to do is I like to think of macro stories. Is like, what is my big overarching theme for my life as it relates to these products? So for me, I talk a lot about dieting. I spent, 25 years dieting of every Monday restarting my diet, trying to get back on track, feeling bad because I wasn't eating good enough. Or if I were to slip up and have a cookie, then I'd be like, screw it. I'm just going to binge and eat junk for the rest of the day. I'll start again tomorrow or start next Monday. So that's like my macro story, but then I have a lot of micro stories that I tell, and you could come up with stories for everything. So, for example, for this weekend, on Friday, I was going out to dinner with some friends, and I was like, I'm so excited because I'm going to a restaurant tonight. And for the first time, I'm not pre-looking up the menu to see what's the healthiest item because there's been times where I'm on diets and I'm like, I have to get the healthiest item on this menu. I better look up all the nutrition. And then there's other times where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I want to binge. I want to get the most food. What's the most food I can get? And I was like, I'm going to this restaurant tonight with no stress. I'm like, I'm just going to see what I actually want to eat. And that's so freeing. And then on Saturday, I went to a birthday party. I talked about, I'm going to this birthday party. I'm going to eat cake tonight. And I'm so excited because I know that after a few bites, it'll be enough. Whereas normally I would eat like multiple pieces of cake. I'd be finishing all of my children's cake and eating my cake and getting more cake and bringing cake home. And I'm like, tonight I'll take a few bites of cake and it'll be good. Like this helps me to truly control myself because it'll be too sweet for me. Like, what? And I'll be seeking out the vegetable. So I'm not going to this birthday party stressing over I'm going to ruin my diet. and I'm not stressing that I'm going to go binge. And then yesterday was the Super Bowl, and I'm like, I'm going to a Super Bowl party tonight, and I don't have to stress over bringing a vegetable tray so I can hit my, green containers from my Beachbody days. And I don't have to stress over what I'm going to eat there or know that I'm going to binge and have to restart on Monday and feel like shit on Monday and then not eat carbs on Monday to make up for all the carbs I ate on Sunday. Those were three different stories that I told each day this weekend, and each day spoke to people and got them to say, that is me. I am in. Here's my credit card. Give me this stuff. How fast can it get here? So every single day, think about your life, your own experiences, and just share that. So today it's Monday, and I'm going to talk about how it's Monday, and I feel great. The day after the Super Bowl, where I would normally wake up feeling disgusting from eating and drinking so much, I was in complete control without even trying. I didn't have to exercise discipline or willpower. And that's the power of this GLP-1 activator. I talk a lot about how I used to be so tired. I have four little kids, and now I feel like somebody wiped my front windshield clean, like that specificity. So, if you can get really specific in your descriptions of describing how you feel and the lived experiences you are having, you are going to get people who are like, oh my gosh, I could have written that myself. I could have said that myself. It's the in your head effect. You want to get in people's heads. You want them to think, is she like spying on me? Like, does she know that's exactly what I was talking about? Or like how I was feeling? Or I just said that to my husband. And how do you do that? You do that by being so real. And stop trying to like put on this facade or like be professional or be, an online figure and like say the right things. I went to see Nikki Glaser on Friday night, and she's a comedian. She became really famous on the Tom Brady roast, and then she just became the first woman to host the Golden Globes. And she was so funny. And the whole time I'm thinking, she's so funny because she's so relatable. And she's just saying all the things that we think, but like we never want to say. She talked so much about fat people like using Ozempic and how skinny people, like naturally skinny people, are so jealous. And they're like, oh, but you're taking medication from diabetics who like need it. And she's like, nobody cares about diabetics. Like you're just skinny and you have nothing else going for you. And that's why you're mad that fat people who have had to overcompensate because of skinny privilege and, fat prejudice, they've had to become interesting and creative and funny. And so now they're going to be skinny and have these personalities, whereas like skinny people are like just skinny. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like everything she said, she was just nailing it. She was talking about getting nails done. She's like, oh, when I go get to my nails done, and I'm like, okay, I'll put my hands in this bowl of cancer. And like I'm trying to like, I think I've had my hands in this bowl of cancer for enough time. But then that Asian slaps me, and I'm like, oh, I know that you're like kidnapped and you're here against your will and you're sleeping in the back on a cot with like 30 other women. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like she just said everything that we think. And I'm like, that's why she's so good, because she's relatable. And so I was like, I need to do that more. I feel like I do a good job of that. I'm constantly talking about like my IBS issues and pooping and gas and like embarrassing things. But that's how I've made all of these sales, because people are like, oh my God, me too. It's the things that you don't want to say that are going to be what connect with other people. So think of your macro story, your big story, how it relates to the products that you're selling. And then think of your micro stories, those daily stories that other people would relate to, but you just have to have the balls to share it. So the more you can talk every day, and I always say, like, pretend like you're holding your phone and you're FaceTiming your best friend who's in another state, and you're just like taking her through your day. That's how you need to be on stories. Just take people through your day, talk to them, and be someone that they like and connect with. I talk about my children a lot, and I show them. I'm not somebody who doesn't show them, but if you don't want to show them. But like the other night, I did this whole rant about bath time and how horrible bath time is, and how they definitely duped us in making bath time seem like it's, oh, this fun time where like, oh, we're bonding and scrub-a-dub-dubbing. And my kids are feral animals that are like literally the plasters coming off my walls because they're splashing the ceiling and flooding the bathroom and fighting, and it's a disaster. Then they get out and they run around the house wild, and they're like rolling on the floor and they're wet, and so dog hair is stuck to them, and then have to put them back in. And the amount of messages I got from moms being like, thank you for sharing this, like this is so relatable. So just because of what we're selling, if you were selling something different, I've sold a lot of things over the years. I've sold courses and memberships and high ticket mentorships. I sold things, masterminds for $12,000. And that required a different type of marketing. That required speaking to a different type of person. I mean, it could be the same person, but they wanted something different than what we're selling. What we're selling is so deeply personal. And so you can't be surface level. You have to go deep and you have to share those really personal things that other humans connect with because that's what they're buying. And you have to talk about the pains and what they desire. So nobody likes to have their fat rolls. Nobody likes to like have to lay down to put jeans on or go in their closet and not have anything to wear or to wake up every Monday feeling bloated and disgusting and being like, okay, I'm gonna like really be good today. And then at nighttime binge and then feel like a complete fucking failure or decide to start a workout program and then miss a day and then be like, oh, I'm behind. I suck. I'm just gonna quit. Like this is too hard. Nobody wants to feel that way. So do you see the specificity I used there in those examples? That is what you want to focus on. What is your audience? What are their pain points? And what do they desire? So for me, I talk a lot about how I don't like vegetables and dieting has always been hard for me because I don't have discipline or willpower because I love food and I hate exercise. And so I attract a lot of people who are just like that. And this is just making it easy for them because now they're like, oh my God, who am I? Never have I ever got a vegetable tray and ate it. So you're not selling something that's going to require a lot of psychology where you have to be like, okay, what should I say to get them to buy? If you're selling like high ticket mentorship, that's the mentality you have to have. It takes a lot of thought to go into those posts. Like when I was selling those high ticket things, it was hard. This is easy because I'm just like, how do I feel today? Okay, let me share that. Boom, done, sales. So I just cannot stress enough how much you really need to focus on how you feel and what you've lived and experienced. And then in terms of content, so at the beginning of sharing this stuff, I was doing lots of different like day in the life vlogs, which are really hot right now. I see a lot of big people doing day in the life vlogs, what I eat in a day vlogs, like spend the morning with me, spend the afternoon with me, spend an evening with me. And I've been recording those, but I've been realizing like those don't work as well as me just sharing like a reel of my like progress. And so now I'm just like, well, that's what people want to see. So now I'm like, why am I overcomplicating? I'm just going to share the same freaking video pretty much every day. And so pretty much every day, my videos look very similar. Like it might be two different videos because I recorded a bunch of before videos before I started this. If you haven't done this, so I'm very distracted by this man skateboarding down our street with a backpack on. He's like a grown man. Like, where are you going? Okay, so anyway, at the beginning, if you didn't do this yet, please do this. Take a lot of before videos, like in different outfits. I maybe took like, I don't know, 15 different videos of myself before I did this in different outfits. And now, like every few weeks, I'll put on one of those outfits and then I will take a video of how I've changed in that's just a short period of time. And my goal is like when I've lost 40 pounds, like imagine what those videos are going to be like in a few months. But right now, so I just splice those together, or I'll take the same video I posted like 2 weeks ago, and then I'll just like change the text on it and repost it. And I'm like, this is like the easiest thing I've ever done. So it's so easy to talk about it. And it's easy because I'm not like, what should I post today? I'm just like, okay, let me take one of these videos I have already posted, change the text, boom, done. So if you find that a certain type of content is working well, then just double down on it. Keep posting it. And make it easy on yourself. But in your caption, share your story. A lot of times, what I'll say, like, I turned 40 and rapidly began gaining weight. Whenever I mention that, like that phrase, those posts blow up. Those are my most viral reels. When I say I turned 40 and rapidly started gaining weight. No, I'm not pregnant. I just turned 40 and started rapidly gaining weight. So now I'm like, I'm going to use that phrase like every other day. Um, and then tell the story of like what happened because my story was I turned 40, I decided I'm gonna get skinny, and I started hitting 10,000 steps by 10 a.m. every day. I'd share it in my stories every day, 10,000 steps by 10 a.m. I gained like 20 pounds doing that. And so my story is like no matter what I did, I was gaining weight, not losing it until I found this. And now, like I've only lost 9 pounds. It's not like I've had this huge transformation. Where Jolynn, I think you lost like a ton of weight. No, I'm 40. I just turned 40. Um, so I mean, I've only lost 9 pounds, but I feel like I've lost a lot of inches. But my point is, don't wait until you've like, oh, I can't share until I've had a significant transformation. Just like every little win, share that. Okay. So anyway, that's all I have for you guys. What questions do you have for me?
Ash, like, what if you don't really have like a lot of weight to lose? Like, I'm like, oh, because all your stories relate to me so much of where I was at basically like 8, 10 years ago or whatever. But I've been able to maintain my weight for the last 8 to 10 years. But like, what do you think? Like, I don't know. What would you suggest?
So I think sharing your like your story of how like you always wanted sugar, you're a recovering binge eater. That story, Lacey, is what you need to share. It and it doesn't have to be constant before and after photos for you, but it's like you have a story to share. So you with like text on the screen as a reel, I think is huge. And then in my stories, I share a lot of my customers' testimonials, but not pictures. I don't share their pictures that often, but like every day I take like little snippets of their stories of like, here's how I'm feeling. Oh my gosh. Because that's what sells. I mean, yes, before and after photos get attention, but people want to see all those other things that it's doing. So I would focus more on like that story.
How do you get your group to be so incredible? Your group is so phenomenal, and the stories and what they're sharing, and just like, how do you get them to be like even with Beachbody, like no one really shared a lot in my groups, and I'm like, even though I was sharing all the time, and what do you think about that? How do you get your people to share so amazing stories?
I am in there sharing a lot. So I will go in there and be like, okay, here's how I'm feeling. Like I set the tone where I was like in there at the beginning, like constantly sharing, like, oh my God, you guys, I just ate salad. Like, who am I? It's 9 o'clock at night. I'm craving arugula. Um, and then like yesterday, I made a post. I haven't even checked my group chat because it was blowing up, but I was like, today's the Super Bowl, and today's like the first time I'm going to a party, and I know I can just like intuitively eat. Like I'm gonna go and just eat whatever I want. I can't wait to hear what your results are. So tonight, share with me what you ate at the Super Bowl parties and like how you felt and if you felt in control. So I will prompt them and then I'll get a flood of responses.
See, and you're almost like being like delusional in your group too, so that they're delusional too. Like what you were saying earlier
Yeah,
about
like I just set the expectation that you will have success and
yep.
like you will be celebrating, and this is a fun space to be celebrating.
That's so true. Like your delusional mindset. I'm like, that is so freaking true. Like this lady, she messaged me this morning. She's like, I just got my box, but to be honest, it's probably gonna be like everyone. It's always magic potions and pills for everyone else, but never for me. And I was like, that mindset right there. I'm like, it won't work. I
Yeah.
was like, you're already setting yourself up for failure. What the heck?
Mhm.
Hey,
Yeah. Did you call her out on that? Did you say that? Yes.
yes, I said, listen, Katie. I'm like, you are literally already setting yourself up for failure.
Hmm.
Like already before you even open the box, and you're saying that. I'm like,
Yeah,
your mind is so powerful.
for sure. Shh, shh, Beckham, go out there, please. Anyone else? You? Okay.
I
Like,
literally recorded this. I'm seriously going to listen to it. Like your mindset is so powerful and it's so true. It literally, I took 2 pages of notes because it's like, oh my goodness, like Ashley just, yes, I need to watch Inside Out.
yes, please watch Inside Out, you guys. It one will help you to become more emotionally regulated. And that's another thing. I am not just talking about the weight loss. And I think that's why I'm having so much success is I am constantly talking about my PMS issues, my IBS issues, like a lot of embarrassing things. That, my energy, my mood, this calmness I have with my children. I have 4 small children, as you saw, one just came in. And then my customers are also looking for those results. It's not just like, oh, I'm like trying to lose weight, but they're constantly also sharing, like, I feel calmer, I'm happier. And then I'm able to share those. And then I get more people who are like, okay, this is more than just weight loss. So I think focusing on more than just the weight loss is really important. I talk about you a lot, Lacey, about like I have friends who don't need to lose weight, but this is why they're taking it.
Totally. Like it's so much more. That's why I'm just like, oh, it's so much more. And then Ash, okay, when you do sell people, because like I'm doing the protandim and the collagen and the GLP-1 or whatever, I like never set anybody up with just the mind body GLP-1 because I'm like the protein and the collagen. Sometimes like the collagen is stretch for me, but I'm like I will never not send anybody up with the protein. So what? Because you talk so much about GLP-1, how do you transition to like be like this is like the whole package? Like how do you do that?
Yeah, so in my flow, so if people ask for info, I send them the information on the collagen and the protandem first, and then they hit a button that's like, okay, tell me more. And then that tells them about the GLP-1. And so I'm constantly saying, like, my husband and I, our results, my husband lost 24 pounds in like 6 weeks by doing nothing. We're taking all three of these. And so I do a lot of email marketing. I don't know if you're at that point yet, everybody, if you're doing email marketing, but I have a very large email list. And so I will say, here's the package I got and recommend. It has the three most popular products. And this is also in my Manny chat, like DM flow. It's like, I call it the all-in package. So instead of like the premier premium or whatever it's called, that pack, I'm like, it's the all-in package. Like if you're going to go all in on your glow up. So it's like how you sell it. This is what I got, this is what we're using, this is how we're getting those results. But then I also give them other options. So in my Instagram flows, it'll say, I'll give them the option to just get the GLP-1 because I have a lot of people who like that's a stretch for them. And I don't want them to say, no, I can't afford anything beyond this. So I can't afford this. I can't buy it. I'm like, well, here's just the GLP-1. You will get great results with the GLP-1. And then here's like another option. But what I'm finding is a lot of people who are purchasing just the GLP-1, just the mind body system, are then getting Protandim from my group chat because I'm in there saying, like, here's what's great about Protandim. Did you see the study? How many of you have less inflammation, aren't using Protandim? And I cannot tell you how many people are just logging in and adding Protandim on their own. So I'm always like, I will start you with whatever I can get you on because I know you're then going to add things on.
Awesome.
Yeah, the collagen is very expensive. And so I feel like there's a certain type of person who wants the collagen. So that's why I'll talk about my skin, and I'll talk about the benefits of collagen, but I don't push that on people because I feel like, if you have the budget for it, you'll add it. If not, like, let's just get you on the mind body. And then, okay, somebody privately asked, I've been on it for 30 days, great before and after photos, but scared to do stories and share. What? I don't do videos, but only photos. What do you suggest I do first? Put them out there for the world to see. I know it's scary. It's so scary. Like sometimes I'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm sharing like my fat and cellulite all over the internet. But look how many people it's helping. And I shared this in a story the other day. I was at a yoga class and I was coming out and this guy, somebody said to him like, wow, you look good. And he's like, thanks. I finally lost 20 pounds, but it's been so hard and I'm cranky as hell. And it took everything in my power to not be like, bro, like, let me tell you about something. Like, it doesn't have to be hard. But I've been thinking like, why am I going to let him suffer? So next week, maybe I'll like slip him a note to be like, let me change, blow your mind here. But that's just the mentality I have. And this really goes back to the mindset. Your ego is what's holding you back. Your ego is telling you, no, you can't share these. People are going to judge you. Like, and you're making it all about you. But I am constantly like, I cannot keep this to myself. I know there are so many people out there who are struggling like I have been struggling, and this would change their life. So why would I be a selfish bitch and keep this to myself because I'm worried about people seeing my cellulite? Like, who the fuck cares? Like, I don't know you people. Like, I'm not gonna see you in real life. I'm gonna share this because I know that there are gonna be so many women who are like, I need this. Like, holy cow, like this is gonna change my life. So if you get your ego in check and stop making it about you and be like, I have something that will help people and I feel like my purpose is to share it with them and to tell them about it, it becomes so much easier to share those photos of yourself and to talk about your transformation. So don't make it about you, make it about them.
Ash, can you like go like a little bit further? Like, I don't have like a lot of like I could care less about the haters that I don't know. It's like the close like my husband's family is so rude about me, and I'm like, oh my, like, how do you handle that? Like, it's like the close people where you're just like, oh, and it's their kids who say stuff that they've heard their parents say. And I'm just like, how do you handle that? Because I feel like that has like weighed really heavy on my mindset lately. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you handle that?
Yeah, so people in your real life are jealous. That's what it comes down to, is that they don't want to see you succeed. And they feel like you're doing something that they could do, but they choose not to, or they feel like they can't do it. And so they don't want you to win. They don't want you to have success. They don't want you to feel better. They don't want you to make money. They don't want you to like have a following and be an influencer and be successful because that's not fair, right? Because they can't do it or they're too embarrassed to do it. So any sort of hatred is coming from that insecurity and that jealousy. And so when you start to see it through that lens of like, okay, they could do this, they're just choosing not to, or they're a loser and they just can't do it because they don't have the ability to like get on social media, like F them, and that's their loss. Social media has leveled the playing field. Anybody can be successful, but you have to have the balls to put yourself out there. And the people who do have the balls to put themselves out there are then rewarded, right? Financially, the community I have. And it's funny, I don't get haters. And it's so funny in like 10 years of doing this, I've never had trolls. Um, at all. I've only had a community of like really loving, accepting people who've like been so great during my motherhood journey, my weight loss journey. Like nobody has ever said mean stuff to me. So a lot of times we make up these things in our head. But my point is, anybody could build that following on social media, but a lot of people just choose not to because of their own insecurities and lack of skills. And then they want to take it out on you and say nasty things about you and judge you. So F them. Let them be fat and miserable and poor and broke and have no community.
Mic drop, baby.
Um, do you find them wanting to sell after they've been on for a while? Yes, I have so many customers upgrading to consultants, just literally on their own. And I actually think I'm going to send because I send emails to. So what I do is I have this flow and I'm like, if you want info, reply with info. And then in that flow, I'm like, if you want to be an affiliate, because I like to call it affiliate, not consultant, because the MLM space has a very negative reputation and rap. So I always say like be an affiliate. It's like much better. People are really more inclined to be like, okay, give me info. So I'll say, give me info or reply with affiliate if you want to be an affiliate. And then I have them tagged in my system. And so I will send those people emails about like the money, like what you can make. I obviously don't disclose numbers because the FTC will crack down on you. So I don't ever do that. But I'm like, I can't believe how easy this is. This is so wonderful, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I send that to people who said I want to be an affiliate but haven't signed up yet. But naturally, I have a lot of consultants or customers upgrading to consultants. But today I was like, you know what? I'm going to email all my customers because I haven't really mentioned it to them. I mean, they see me talking about it, but I think today I'm going to email them. So don't be afraid to just bring it up to your customers as well and be like, hey, you're going to get hot. You're going to get happier. People are going to be asking what you're doing. You can either refer them to me or you can sign up yourself and give them your link and then cover your own products. Like, why would you not do that? Kaylin. Oh my gosh, your 16-year-old son's friends. Yeah, block, 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 block. I love it. Yeah, block anyone in your family, your neighborhood, your friends. Like, if they say anything negative to you, this is social media is your space if in the world. It's like your home. You can protect it. You don't have to let people in, right? If somebody you hate and is going to come bully you, comes to your front door, you're not going to let them in your house. Same with social media. So any negative comment, block, like you can just get rid of them. They can never come back. Yeah. Yeah, this is so much easier to share than anything that I've ever done. And it works. Okay, anything else? Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you for coming. Have a great day and get to Lulu.
Thanks, Ash. That was amazing.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
girl.
Lucy.
Bye.